Hey, welcome to another episode of UMO.Design's A Design Dialogue series. I'm your host, Shyamasundar Duriseti, co-founder of UMO.Design and co-chair Content UX India Conference. For this episode, it's my pleasure to introduce Supriya Kulkarni, our speaker at the upcoming International Conference on Design, UXIndia 2021. Hey Supriya, it's great to have on UMO.Design's A Design Dialogue series. UMO Design community is delighted to learn more from you in the lead up to your talk at UXIndia 2021. So let's start with the big shift that we are all experiencing about what has happened last year, and then we are still not out of it, right? So in the last 18 months, the world has seen accelerated transformation of all sorts in almost every aspect of our lives. So can you please share your thoughts on the big shift and the role of design to start with?
Yeah, thanks, Shyam. Thanks for inviting me to speak at the conference, and I'm very happy to be speaking there. So to answer your first question, I think the way I look at the big shift is yes, it got accelerated by the pandemic, but we've been seeing this slow change since what I would say is the fourth industrial revolution. So technologies of the fourth industrial revolutions have already started blurring lines between our different worlds. So everything is physical, digital, interconnected. So this has made a big change in how we've worked, lived, and while the transformation has been underway and been accelerated by the pandemic, what I would say is the role of design has shifted from being cosmetic, informative, or static to being more immersive, experiential, and of course more responsible. So as designers, we may still be doing some of the things that we did earlier. For my part as a brand consultant, I've been involved in designing identities, packaging, websites, and other assets. But now I see a more defined merging of disciplines. So there's interaction design, industrial design, service design, all meshed together, and merging of platforms also for the delivery of these experiences, offline, online. And especially since last year, I think we are pursuing our daily activities, whether that's studying, working, exercise, entertainment, shopping, consuming brands, services, experiences, all through tech and digital mediums. So I think this rapid shift to digital has had huge implications for design. So the number of tech users have increased, the types of users have increased. Now we are designing for children, we are designing for elders, we are designing for people with different abilities, different disabilities. So I think the role of designers is that they have to realize that they're bearing the responsibility to design for whatever the design is actually influencing and impacting millions of users. It's not just a few. And I think that's why it's sort of important for them to design in a more humane, inclusive, and responsible way. Yeah. So that's the role of design as well as designers, I would say.
Absolutely. Yeah. So as a founder of the ethics company, through which you create businesses to make responsible and informed decisions in creating their digital or technological products, what kind of changes have been observing, especially with this big shift? So how do you see yourself riding this wave? What kind of challenges you're facing, opportunities, any thoughts there?
So I wear two hats. I'm the founder of the ethics company, and I also run a brand consultancy. So in both my projects, I've actually been seeing that the nature and scope of projects have changed considerably. So I've been working on projects that involve different kinds of technologies. I've been involved in building digital platforms and building applications for different segments, for different industries. Conventional boundaries, as we saw them between different industries, have sort of eroded. And I realized that the technology that has been causing so much disruption made it sort of crucial to sort of update our knowledge, update what we are doing. So I got into I set up the ethics consultancy mainly because I realized the impact of design was actually influencing the way people behave, was influencing and impacting the way users behave. So for me, ethical, responsible design became extremely important. And in my part of the world, when I wanted to practice ethical design, I realized that there were really no consultancies over there. There were really no people I could work with. So I had to sort of become an entrepreneur and set up my own ethics consultancy. I see that a lot of people still do not have a realization of what ethics means in design. And part of the ethics consultancy is to bring this awareness to designers, to businesses, to creators, for all stakeholders, I would say. So initial part is bringing awareness of ethics and responsible design. And the next part is actually helping them to navigate their ethical design journey. So that's what I have been doing. The pandemic, surprisingly, has made this journey easier for me, because now I can sort of, work with different people in different parts of the world, which I was not able to do earlier. So in some ways, this working from home, and this has sort of helped cross different boundaries, geographical boundaries, and sort of made it easier for me to do my work, is what I would say.
Yeah, spot on. I think we're all seeing that level of transformation, because I think
absolutely.
First, the reach and impact was pretty limited. Now I think there are no boundaries with this, right? So,
I mean, just the very fact that, I'm sitting in Indonesia, or I was sitting in Indonesia, and I was chatting with you guys, and I was trying to be a part of this. And I've also been, working with different clients in different parts of the world. Yeah. So it's amazing, actually. And there's more acceptance now.
So extending that line of thought to budding and aspiring designers, right? So previously, most of the designers would end up in regular not jobs, but in terms of problems that they get to solve, are pretty limited in that sense. And then now with this big shift and transformation, I think my feeling is that it has opened up a lot of opportunities for us. But then, what do you feel about it? What kind of areas that new designers can focus on? What are some of the opportunities? What are some of the interesting areas you are seeing from your perspective?
So I think, as individuals, we are constantly making minor, major decisions in our daily lives. And these decisions sort of affect and impact our lives. As professionals, as designers, every small design decision that we make, whether as individual designers or when we work in teams, business as well as design decisions, these are impacting many people. Some of the impacts are positive, a lot of the impacts are negative. We don't always realize what these impacts are going to be, because we do not tend to use that much of foresight, I would say. So we're designing for short outcomes. We're designing for probably short-term impacts or short-term results. So some of these impacts can actually make a lot of difference in the lives of different stakeholders, whether that's our teams, our clients, most importantly our users, our consumers, non-users, communities, societies. And the more technology that we use, and different new technologies that we don't understand, I realize that the role of designers becomes very, very important. So one of the things that I would actually want budding designers to focus on is responsible and intentional design. So that, I think, is something that they should consciously focus on, with great understanding of what it means to be a responsible designer.
Great advice there. So what does it mean for design education? So do you think design education has to catch up a lot? I mean, we always talk about the gap between practice and education, but with this big shift, do you think that gap has widened, or any thoughts there?
So I would say that ethical design, or ethics as a concept, as a topic, is quite widely discussed in the Western parts of the world. Where it comes to Asia, I think there needs to be a little more awareness, a little more integrating of ethics, ethical design and academia, even in practice for businesses. So one of the things that I keep saying primarily is that all design artifacts or assets reflect the value systems of their creators, and we see that so frequently talked about in documentaries like Coded Bias and stuff like that, right? So I think current students, current learners are actually the future creators. They are the leaders. They are the future design decision makers. So it's crucial for them to know what is the right thing to do. The right thing is different for everybody, but according to them, they have to know how to make informed, responsible choices regarding the creation and deployment of these future products that they create. So I think introducing the topic of ethics and responsible design into academic curriculums is extremely important. I mean, especially for higher level education, for executive education, just so that learners understand the systemic interplays between design, business, technology, society, because these are all interconnected. And I don't think ethical design as a concept is currently considered that important, because we are still, if I speak for India, we are still in awe of the possibilities of these new technologies in design. We are not really thinking long term about the potentially negative impacts that they could have. And I think education can definitely open eyes to what could be those impacts and how we can actually nullify or mitigate those impacts. So I for my part, what I'm trying to do is I'm keen on partnering with design institutes, management institutes, and bringing this topic of ethical design into their curriculums through integrated segments or short courses.
That sounds like a great mission to have. Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. So in saying so, are you giving a sneak peek into the topic that you're going to present at UXIndia? So any high level overview that you want to give to our audience?
Yes. So I'm really excited to be talking about this, because I think I have been speaking about ethical design at a lot of different forums, and I realized that not too many people are speaking about that. So I'm happy to be bringing this new topic to UXIndia conference. So my talk basically centers around building positive experiences through ethical design. So I would say that just as a background, if we've been reading the news, we are already seeing effects of digital social media on people. So platforms that are supposed to bring people together are actually having the opposite effects. Users of certain apps or products often end up feeling more socially isolated, lonely. They undergo depression, anxiety, body image issues, etc. So we're all aware of all these different things. When we look at these as designers, when we look at these impacts on individuals and society, we sort of realize that some of these products that are designed need intentional and deliberate relook at the way they've been designed, created, developed, strategized. And I think as new tech systems sort of get incorporated into creating these products, the complexity of these ethical issues keeps growing, multiplying. So what we think is a great product, is a great design, is a great experience, often has negative or unintended negative impacts. So in my session, what I try to do is to give a high level understanding of the possible ethical issues in design, help design professionals to spot those ethical issues before they can amplify, and also outline principles and processes to sort of help them make more informed decisions to create responsible products. And ultimately that I think should lead to positive user experiences.
Nice. So any closing thoughts on how UXIndia, the kind of activities it is doing, and then how it aligns with what you believe in, and then why do you think UXIndia 2021 is exciting for you?
I have one regret, and that is that I discovered UXIndia very late. Yeah. So, however, having discovered it, I think I was reading about you guys before I became, before I was invited to speak. I think it's really amazing that, you're building this kind of community that you've managed to form. the coming together of practitioners, academia, industry expert, designers, students, learners. And I completely congratulate you. I think it's an amazing thing that you've been doing. Also, for 17 years, and you've been involved in doing this for over 2 decades. So it's hats off to you guys. Also, I think the fact that you're introducing new topics, new areas of design, new practices, bringing new trends to the country. So it's wonderful. I mean, this is what should be done, and you are doing it. So I congratulate you once again. So for my part, I would actually love to collaborate more with you. Like right now, I'm going to be a speaker at this session. I would love to, conduct workshops. I'd love to work with you guys to introduce my ethical design courses for your design school. So I think it's amazing. I mean, the way forward is only positive and bright, is what I would say. It's fantastic.
Awesome. Thanks, Supriya. Thanks for sparing time, and thanks for sharing your thoughts and insights with our audience and our community. We look forward to our collaboration in the future, as well as your talk at UX India 2021. Thank you again.
Thank you, Shyam. Thank you very much. It was great. It was lovely talking to you. And I look forward to delivering my session.
Thank you.